אחים. How sweet it is. How good it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is to be together on this day. Umanayu Shabbat It's loud, I know. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Shir Kids, for leading us in Hine Matov. How good and how wonderful it is, how warm it is for us to be together on this Shabbat. And we take a moment each and every Shabbat to welcome one another to our congregation, to say hello. We begin by actually saying Shabbat Shalom to the people who are at home or around the country and the world. There are cameras right back here. We're going to turn around and we're going to say Shabbat Shalom, and we're going to wave. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And that was great practice for those who are in the room, being able to say Shabbat Shalom to one another and to turn to the north, the south, the east, the west, in every single direction, and to welcome one another and everyone who's here. There you go.
We are so excited to have Jake Schwartz and his family up here, including Sister Lauren, home from college, which is the coolest thing. Celebrating Jake becoming a bar mitzvah in this congregation tomorrow to welcome in the light of Shabbat. We begin by lighting the Shabbat candles. And we'll join together in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And we say that this time of Shabbat is sacred and set apart, as we know that it is for your family this weekend, as we join together with the words of Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila, L'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta, ve'otanu kidashta. מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
L'chaim to life, and Mazel Tov in advance for an incredible job leading us tomorrow and bringing such joy and pride to our congregation.
Some laughter too.
Yes, joy was a euphemism for laugh. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have more things to celebrate. If we have any kids who are celebrating a birthday in the month of December, and you are turning 13 years old or younger, 13 years old, we see some takers who are perhaps past the 13, but if you want to come on up to the front. Anybody else? Oh, another person. December birthday, 13?
88. Today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Come on up, guys. And we'll all sing. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you guys. Happy birthday, December birthdays. Happy birthday to you. And we wish you Mazel Tov in growing another year bigger and braver and stronger and more courageous. And here's a coupon for some TCBY. Mazel Tov.
I mean, 87 today. That's you got to give some TCBY for that. That's pretty good. So, as we celebrate birthdays, we celebrate a bar mitzvah tomorrow, and it's a really amazing thing. We also take time each and every week to celebrate wonderful things that are happening in our lives. And I have to tell you about something wonderful that happened in my life this week. This week, Rabbi Nichols gave to me a brand new talit, and that she made for me, which does not happen every day. And so I am really excited to wear a new talit made for me by my colleague, Rabbi Nichols, which is really exciting. You'll see that she has a talit that looks very similar because she made her own talit, so which is very exciting. So thank you, and that's something that is exciting that happened to me this week. But I'm wondering if there are just wonderful things that happen to you, big or small, or just goodness that we can share with each other this week. So if you have something that happened to you, would you raise your hand and let us know about something good that happened in your week? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, so 1 year ago today, moving to Charlotte, being amongst new friends and being in a community, and closing on your new condo today. That's amazing. That's how you planned all of that. That's incredible. Yes. You got a 90 on your test today. That's great. Thank you. Yeah. I'm sorry, say that one more time. You got to see your friends at Northwest in Matilda, and that was an awesome experience. Beautiful. It's wonderful to have friends and to see them doing art and beautiful things in the world. That's great. Oh! Cantor Thomas pointed over to Shir Kids, and I thought there would be one hand up, but there's a lot.
I think 5.
All right, let's start in the back, and then we'll come towards the front. All right. Yes. How about you? Go for it. Yeah, would you want to share something good? Oh, raise your hand. Okay. Great. For Ray, yes, you want to share something good? Okay. All right. Jonas. You got 100 on your spelling test. Great job. Yes. A roller skating rink with your family. Would you have a lot of fun? Amazing. Yes.
I had a field trip that I went on yesterday.
That's a field trip. That's so much fun. Yes.
I'm going to go on a roller coaster at Carowinds. It's called a copper struck.
At Carowinds, and that sounds amazing. All right. Yes. Gem mining and a field trip, and same friends in the same class. That's a great thing. Let's give it up for Shir Kids for all of the good things for happening to Shir Kids. All right, yes, in the back, right there, yes. Hold on for 1 second. One more time. You got to see your friends. You really like seeing your friends. That's wonderful. And you went for a field trip too. A lot of field trips. Yes. Whoa, that's awesome. Happy birthday to your mom. That's awesome. Yes. Having a dad surprise you at lunch today to come see you. Nice. The Old Salem and field trip. That's you had a good time? Awesome. And Meir? Two successful weeks post back surgery. Mazel tov. And Andrea? That's awesome. For connections, new and old, and new opportunities, that's really wonderful. And last, yes. Thankful to be here this evening. So for field trips and friends and great scores on tests and quizzes, and for community and being able to be here, and new tali tot, for birthdays, for bar mitzvahs, we offer our deepest sense of thanks to God with the words of Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh.
Let's rise with the words of Baruch Hu.
Ya la 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 la.
Ya la 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 la.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared?
Are you listening to my prayer?
Can you hear my voice?
Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I
Prepare. Baruch Hu et Adonai.
We stay standing with the words of Shema, and we also recognize how sometimes, just like we've listened to the blessings in each other's lives, that it helps us to see and recognize the good that's in the world. Sometimes when it looks a little dark outside, we recognize the light that is within. And so I want to invite you to just close your eyes for a moment, to take a deep breath, to feel that light and the warmth of community, of friendship, of love, of joy. And to see and understand that love, that joy, that friendship, that light as God in this world. Shema Yisrael Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Et Adonai Elohecha bechol lavcha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאותו ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וטבתם על מזוזות ביתך, על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Our tradition tells us that each and every week, each and every Shabbat, we are supposed to be reminded of our wanderings, our going from Egypt, from a place of narrowness towards the promise and potential of the future. Each and every week of that journey to freedom. And that the journey of freedom requires us to be able to lift our eyes up towards a horizon, to see the possibility of tomorrow. And it also requires us to hold our hand out, to hold hands with people who are next to us, and to march forward together. That's what we do.
Okay, ayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, ze Elianu ve'ameru, ze Elianu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. For 6 days, in 6 days the world was created, and on the seventh day God rested, and we keep Shabbat generation after generation, remembering the sanctity, the sacredness of resting on Shabbat. But resting doesn't mean that you can't have a little fun. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat l'dorotam berit olam. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat l'dorotam berit olam. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Tisheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et et HaShabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יאללה לי לי לי, 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 יאללה that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh ha'kol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv ha'ruach u'morid ha'gashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh ha'kol berachamim rabim, Somech nofelim berofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayim emunato, Lishenei apart, Michamocha ba'al kevurot, Umido melach, melech mimit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol, atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
I want to invite you to be seated. And if you can, to place your feet onto the ground or just let them hang down. And to place your hands by your side, to sit up if you can, and to take a deep breath, and to exhale, and to close your eyes or to lower your gaze. On top of the ark are words that you've probably seen many times. And try to see them in your mind's eye. Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh. Surely God is in this place. From this week's Torah portion. Surely God is in this place. In the prayers and songs that we sing. In our hearts, our minds, and our thoughts. So we take time in silence to recognize the good, the prayers, the yearnings of our souls.
Thank you so much, Shir Kids, for all your help leading services tonight.
All right, that was just making sure you were paying attention. We're going to see up on the wall behind us the names of people in our community who are in need of healing, whether it's healing of the body or healing of the mind. And as I was thinking about these words up above our ark, as Rabbi Knight was reminding us that they're from this week's Torah portion. When we pray for healing, it's one of the things we have to do is be able to kind of draw from that recognition that God is with us and with the people who need healing. And Jacob in our Torah portion kind of wakes up and says, God is in this place and I didn't even know it. So this is a reminder to us to try and pay attention, to try to find that sense of God around us and in us so we can direct it towards those people we love who are in need of healing. So we have the people on our list, but if you are thinking about someone this Shabbat who is in need of healing, I also invite you to say their name out loud. We ask for peace for all of those we've named out loud and those named in our hearts as we sing this blessing with Abby. Thank you, Abby. Yesterday, I was talking with one of our students who is an artist, and it reminded me of a story of an artist. Well, kind of two artists, but really one artist. You'll see why. So there is a legend told of a queen who built a new palace. And she built the most beautiful palace you can imagine. It had more rooms than any palace you'd ever seen. It had more furniture that was ornate and made out of beautiful materials. There was art on every wall, except for one hallway. The queen wanted her palace to be better than any palace anywhere, and she spent the whole time it was being built trying to imagine how she could do that. So she left the hallway, the front hallway, blank, and she had a contest and narrowed it down to 2 finalists, and she gave each finalist a wall. One artist would paint this wall, and one artist would paint this wall. They could have any kind of materials they wanted. They could have all of the assistance they wanted, but they had 6 months. So the first artist on this wall got right to work. He started making sketches. He had many versions. There was paper flying everywhere. He settled on a design, and he brought in an army of assistants. And there were materials being sent from all over, the best paint colors, the most beautiful plaster, and they started getting to work. And at the end of the first month, you could start to see things taking shape. You couldn't quite tell what was going on yet, but people were already talking about how amazing it was. The artist on this side was a little slower. Every day, he came in and just sat in front of the wall. And some days he sat right in front of the wall, and almost like he was touching it with his nose. And other days he sat so far away that he was almost touching the other artist's wall. But he just watched. And at the end of the first month, there was nothing. There were no assistants, there were no materials, it was just a white wall. Now, at the end of 6 months, in the final week, the artist over here was just fixing tiny details. He was going around with a tiny, tiny paintbrush, finding little things to fix, and cleaning up the edges, making colors brighter. And he finished on the last morning by signing his name in the corner, went to the door, and just looked at the wall. It really was a masterpiece. And then he looked over at this wall, and he just shook his head. It was still white, totally blank. And he realized this was the first time he'd actually not seen the other artist all day, and he wondered, maybe he's finally going to try to do something. I don't know where he went. He's here every day. But I don't know how he's going to show that to the queen. So the next morning, the queen meets them out in the hallway and says, you wait out here. I'm going to go in and look at your two walls, and then I'll make my decision. And she walks in, and her breath is taken away. She has never, ever seen art like this. It is the most creative and beautiful and colorful. It feels like it's coming off the wall, and she's living in it. And then she turns around, and it's coming off the walls, and it's bright, and it's beautiful, and it's like she's living in it. And she looks back, and it's the same on this side, except that there's a queen that looks kind of familiar staring back at her. So she gets close to this wall, and she touches it, and realizes it's all a mirror. So she thinks for a minute, the two sides look very similar. What should I tell the artist? Who wins? So she goes out to the artists and she brings them inside, and you can imagine how this artist feels when he looks at this wall. And just before he starts to explode, the queen holds up her hand and says, don't worry. I've looked at the walls, and why, your pieces are identical. So I'm going to give you both a prize. And she looks at the artist for this wall and says, your prize is right there. And the artist gasps. There is a pile of gold. And he reaches out and he touches it, and it is real, and it is more money than he could ever imagine. And the artist on the other side says, and what about me? And the queen says, well, your pile of gold is right there. Don't you see it? It's reflected right there in the mirror. Now, when I've told this story before, I always thought the rule or the lesson of this story is that you have to put your all into things. You can't just take the easy way out. This artist just took the easy way out. So that might be one version. But when I read the story this year, it struck me that maybe the artist over here was just stuck. You know how you sometimes just feel like you can't start? And you sit and you think about a paper or an assignment or a presentation you have to give at work, and you just sit there and you feel like you can't get started. I wonder if maybe that's what happened. So you've got one lesson of needing to try your best and put your all into something. And then I think on the other side, maybe the lesson is you have to trust yourself and be willing to step out and be brave. And even if you don't think you can do it, just get started. So I'm going to leave that for you to decide which one you need to hear tonight. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to turn to our concluding prayers with Aleinu, and I invite you to please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula li'yotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu koreim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamelachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
You may be seated. We take time now, as we do at the end of each service, to remember those who are no longer with us, to take time to think about the impact that they had on our lives and the blessing that their memories continue to give us. We remember from our congregation in the period of Shloshim, Howard Brody, Edward Ted's son Hesberg, Louise Rose, and Philip Brown Tart. And we mark the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the passing of Sultana Arroyo, Joy Beal, Louise Bernstein, Chip Berry IV, Sina Binder, Oscar Birnbaum, Claire Boxt, Samuel Bursick, Jack Cyril, Robin Farber, Sadie Silberman Finkelstein, Rowena Ann Fox, Eva Friedman, David Garfinkel, Joan Geiger, Rose Ginsburg, Jane Glazer, Lillian Gluckson, Helen Goldberg, Benjamin Goldfarb, William Golem, Sandy K. Goodman, Francis Gottheim, Louis L. Greenspan, Murray Stephen Horowitz, Bruno Ilfelder, Jerome Itkoff, Rose Jaffe, Stanley N. Kaplan, Harry Levinson, Max Levy, Jacob Levine, Edward Frank Levy, Jerome Lewis, Sandra Lickstraw, Rick Lippy, Marlene Lustig, Adolph Marks, Linwood A. Mayo, Morris Milner, Pauline Motes, David Nabow, Hannah Nabow, Martin Maxwell Nadelman, Bernard Ernest Newman, Gertrude Ornstein, Joe Pepper, Dorothy Richardson, Robert Reich, Wilma Wolf Sally, Megan Saig, Craig Brian Seidler, Barbara Shallant, Harvey Daniel Silton, Edward Silver, Marilyn Trujillo, Helen Barish Werner, Ina Wolpen, David Swavely Woolston. If you are remembering someone this Shabbat, I invite you to add their name to our list. Zichronam Levracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. We rise as one community in solidarity with all those who mourn to recite Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemeda kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol berachata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
My pleasure to invite forward the president of our congregation, Alan Kronovich, to share some announcements. Please be seated.
Good evening. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome everyone to the synagogue. Thank you, Rabbis Cantor, for the beautiful service. The choir was wonderful, so thank you all. It was fantastic. Mazel tov to the Schwartz family tomorrow. Look forward to worshiping with you along with the Friedmans on your B'nai Mitzvah. Lots of stuff going on in the synagogue this month. Next weekend is our residence and scholar. Our Scholar in Residence weekend with Dr. Betsy Stone, starting Friday night and through Sunday morning. She'll talk about the challenges of the past few years, how it's overwhelmed us and forced us to change. So look forward to everyone joining us. Go online and register for some of the events. There's a dinner and Havdalah program on Saturday night at Lerner Hall, and then a breakfast and conversation on Sunday morning, in addition to Friday night and Saturday morning. Details are on the website. Hanukkah is upon us, and so just a few programs that are coming up that might be of interest. And this week I learned some very interesting things about Hanukkah that at 63 it was shocking. First is Vodka Ladka, sponsored tomorrow evening by for young adults at Torah on Top, Moshe House, and our congregation. Tickets are available at the door. Go on to the website to find out about where the event will be held. But I've never heard of Vodka Ladka, so too bad I'm too old. So, this Sunday morning, there is an open house for the gift shop. Come get your Hanukkah gifts and supplies. Hopefully I'll see you there at 9:30 in the morning, so after you drop kids off at religious school, come on by. Sunday the 18th, two of my favorite things, Porch at 5 p.m. We're hosting Southern Fried Hanukkah. So young couples and young adults, come register by December 12th for fried chicken, candle lighting, and, of course, the ugly Hanukkah sweater contest. And then Friday night, December 23rd, we'll have a congregational Shabbat with Hanukkah lighting ceremony, so please bring your Hanukkah with you. All right. Page 2. And then, of course, every night of Hanukkah, you can join the clergy that will do a Facebook Live Hanukkah candle lighting. We are really in modern times. And then, lastly, we have a congregational trip to Israel in 2023 in June that Rabbi Knight will be leading. There are informational sessions. So after you spend some of your money at the open, at our gift shop on Sunday morning, stay to 11:15 for an information session. And then on Wednesday evening, the 7th of December, There is another informational session, 6:30 in the evening, and then December 11th again at 11:15, all here at the congregation, at the synagogue. You can register on ShulCloud. Lastly, we have a board of directors meeting on December 6th. December 6th, this coming Tuesday at 7 p.m. We welcome the congregation to join us. If you want to see how the latkes are made, please come join and see us at the board. Thank you all for attending, and Shabbat Shalom.
And I'm just going to add one clarifying piece to Southern Fried Hanukkah. You said young couples, young adults, and families with young children.
Especially
families with young children. It is really fun with lots of little ones running around. We encourage you to come.
Even first grade,
Yeah.
kindergarten, second grade. You might.
I like the crafts, and I'm past that.
Here we go.
Please join us.
Hallelujah, nafshi et Adonai. Hallelujah, nafshi et Adonai. Hallelujah, nafshi et Adonai. Hallelujah, nafshi et Adonai. Hallelujah, 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 nafshi et Adonai. Hallelujah, nafshi et Adonai. Hallelujah, nafshi et Adonai. Hallelujah, nafshi et Adonai.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.